All right, man. I'm excited. This is the first podcast in the new studio. I'm here with a special guest, man. I don't know how to introduce him. He's a very, very powerful person in the community, in the area. He was a mentor of mine, still is a mentor of mine. We do business together. He's a lobbyist. We'll talk a little bit about that. Photographer, businessman, all the above, man. What's up, Quay? Come on, come on.
You just don't understand, man, because like I
There you
worked my
go.
whole life to be here. You know what I'm saying? So to finally get here, it's like
I was almost happy. He almost.
nah. What's up, man? I'm happy to be here. Honestly, watching you grow, bro, watching your growth, seeing how you evolved is like crazy. It's almost like I feel like it's kind of parallel with my growth, honestly, like. Cause like just going into the different industries that we
Right.
we meet in and we end up in and doing in the different rooms, like it's dope. Like I feel like our trajectories are linear in a way, it's parallel. So I'm happy to be here, bro. I didn't even know I was the first interview, so you know what I'm saying, talk about the pressure, you know what I'm saying? The pressure is getting what's up.
Now we about to set the standard, man.
Yeah,
I want to bring on guests that can give people things, right? That leave people wanting knowledge and leave people researching, right? I think our audience in the world right now are starving for information. They're starving for real shit.
Yeah.
So I feel like, bringing you on was a no-brainer.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm the same way, man. I hate when people are like beating around like what I'm trying to learn from them, like gatekeepers. I experienced that
Right.
a lot in my career path. Just people who like holding information. So I'm the type of book. I'm the open book. I'm the type to give you all the game, all the tools, just because I'm that confident in myself. Like I'm the type to here go the program. Here's what I do. Here how I learned it. Here go the recipe. Just because not only I know that I'm secure in myself, but I don't believe in competition. Also, because in a way, sometimes you could give somebody the recipe, you can give them all the tools to bake the cake, and they'll still stand in the kitchen and say it's too hot, and they're not going to put in the work.
Right,
And
right.
it's that's the separation, that like you're not going to work as hard as I'm gonna work. Like I'm gonna outwork you every single time, and I carry that mentality from sports. So.
Right, and I also second that concept where people be so like clingy to ideas and like, oh, I'm not gonna put that in this chat because someone's gonna steal it and go through the entire process of making it happen.
Yeah.
No, a lot of people won't, and I feel like one thing I think we have in common, and one thing I also learned from you is when someone throws an idea out there, no one thinks about the process and all of the things it takes to make that happen, and then also thinking like, is this even going to pop?
Yeah.
Before you even go through all of that and having that gauge in that process, and I want to know, how do you gauge that process when you come to an idea like, and you know all the work it's going to take to make this happen?
Yeah.
And then you have to question, is it even going to pop?
That's a very good question. Because I'm somebody who always has an idea. I'm that person. Like I always got an idea. I got a million different plans and a million different ideas, just because I'm always watching trends. I'm always watching how the world works and stuff like that. And a lot of times I'm throwing stuff at the wall to see if it stick. Like, and it's interesting because I just met the CEO of one of the organizations that I work with, that you was talking about being a lobbyist, and they do the same thing. It's almost like like an incubator where it's like they encourage people. Even I think I heard Mark Zuckerberg talk about it. He loved employees at his company that are not afraid to try things and see if they work, because it's just an at bat. So I'm gonna keep trying, and one of them things is gonna be a home run and take up for all the things that I feel that. So usually, like a lot of times when I'm thinking of an idea, these days I tried to work smarter. So OG told me actually, like, don't try to reinvent the wheel. And now I use that in everything I do. So for instance, the celebrity basketball game, we didn't invent that. That's been going on. A game show idea, we didn't invent that. That's been going on. Fright Fest, Halloween. That was just me watching YouTube videos and a wormhole on, damn, this is $1 billion industry. Everybody's doing Halloween events. In America, like every holiday is almost damn near $1 million thing, because just capitalists. I'm like, okay, I try to play on things that are already working and try to make them better. I even talked to somebody recently, and he told me a lot of times us in our community, we're starting businesses from the ground up. We working 15 years to try to build this thing. Where millionaires, they acquire companies. They buy companies that are already working. Like my man just bought a restaurant that's already working just because it saves you that much time. I can go in and say, yo, how much you would sell Trenton Talks for? Let me buy this. Just because I know certain things that you don't know how to make it better. That's why you have Shark Tank. These millionaires are trying to purchase companies and stuff. So a lot of times I'm throwing things at the wall, number one, to make them see if they stick, and see if they pass proof of concept. But it's a lot of things that go into just picking an idea, which is how it, like, seeing if it already worked before. Has this already worked before? Because I'm not trying to gamble like my own money. All right, cool. What's my target audience? What's my target demographic? Can people afford this? What's a good price point? So it's a lot of things that go in that process, but a lot of it is market research and seeing other people's mistakes.
Yeah, that's
that
profound.
Answered the question.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It definitely does. It's profound. I wanna talk about the celebrity game, but beforehand, I want to talk about the time period before that where you was about to leave Trenton.
Yeah.
Like, what was going through your mind before you acquired the downtown spot and you was almost out of here?
I always wanted to leave Trenton, always. And it's not like a knock on Trenton, but it's just like geographically, like I take to like cells, like, sickness, what I'm saying? Cancer is going to go where it thrives. It's going to go in the person who eats the most sugar, right? So just naturally, I wanted to be somewhere where I felt like it would give me the best opportunity to thrive. So, in business and opportunity, me personally, I'm thinking New York City is right here. Like, it produces a lot of high IQ people, a lot of millionaires. It's a dense population, just the numbers. If I have a business, 1 million people going to walk by, the visibility to see me. So I always wanted to leave Trenton because it's a small town and there's not many opportunities. Now, that mindset has shifted because now I realize that where there's nothing, there's a lot of opportunity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, so it's kind of like more like philanthropic in that approach. So yeah, I talk about that time, man. Like, this was 2023. So I started my company 2020, really 2014, but I started Much Better Studios in 2020. And, I was working hard, on my mixtape Wheezy, dedication to Wayne, just working, you know what I'm saying, collabing. I had a map on my wall and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make sure I shoot a person in influencer marketing. We seen it with Jordan with Nike. We wasn't wearing Nike until Jordan stepped in them. So I'm like, I'm gonna go and shoot the most popular person in each part of New Jersey. And once I shoot them, I don't have to worry about shooting nobody else. They just gonna do the marketing for me. And I felt like I had really took over the area that I wanted. So I just naturally wanted to expand in 2023. One of my photo shoots went viral, went on the Shade Room. I'm saying? I'm flying around the country. I did a photography tour. So I was a rapper. So I just took that same rap strategy. I'm like, I'm about to go on tour. I'm gonna be the first photographer to go on tour. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always trying to do something different. And once I hit the Shade Room, a lot of my clientele, they come into Trenton. And naturally, I realized that's like the history of our city. It's a distribution city. A lot of cities that are like post-industrial, meaning where like there's a lot of steel manufacturing jobs and stuff, they go into these cities because they're close to others, and we make it, the world take it. So I'm thinking, okay, it's time to graduate and move out. But I met I met up with my man Rob Wilborn. Shout out to Rob and Skillet Cafe. I had breakfast one day, and this was right before I was going to move to Queens. I had like my space picked out and everything. And he was like, bro, like, if everybody dope from the city keep leaving, we not going to have nothing. And I'm like, I already got a studio on Trenton. Why would I make another one? But he told me something interesting, and he was like, downtown Trenton is different. Just because it's the capital of New Jersey, it's a lot of government officials there. It's a lot of different people that you won't meet in any other parts of the city. And he was like, bro, like I said, if everybody dope from the city keep leaving, we ain't gonna have nothing. And I thought about that, and I'm like, you know what? All right, I'm gonna try it out. if it don't, worst case scenario, if it don't work, I'll do something else.
Mm.
So I stayed, man, and you know, I ended up meeting my girlfriend, who I'm dating now, city councilwoman. And I end up learning more about economic development. I'm so happy I stayed because I learned about the foundational principles on how entrepreneurs make a city work, make a city better. The rest is kind of history. I stayed, man. I ended up doing a lot of different government contracting. I immersed myself into politics, and I started to learn how to do business a different way, just on a bigger scale. So now, when I eventually do leave, I know how to recreate that process.
Nah, that was a very powerful time period, I would say, from 2023 till that January. Like that was a very big year for all of us. You know, everybody was going through different developmental stages. Myself, that was my first time where I was like, all right, I need to go get my first big boy job. You know, just graduated college that year, so it was a lot. It was a lot going on. So then that December, you came to me with the idea for the celebrity game.
Who else, man? Who else I'm gonna go to when it come to basketball in the city of Trenton? You know what I'm saying? And that's the idea I always been thinking about, always been wanting to do. And a lot of time, even like my Fright Fest idea for Halloween, I thought of it last year, but I just knew it wasn't the right time. So I got ideas that I'm gonna do next year. I'm always just sitting on stuff, and I try to play chess and think a couple years ahead, like, okay, this would be good for 2026. This would be good for 2027. So yeah, man, that was just, you know, I remember when I lived in Atlanta, I went to a celebrity basketball game that Fab and 2 Chainz threw, and I didn't know 2 Chainz actually was like a basketball player down in Atlanta, and he threw a celebrity game at his high school. He had like Reginae Carter, you know, a bunch of different little influencers there, and I was like, this was dope. And like from there, like I always thought this something that'd be dope.
Right.
And I had no idea it would be what it is now, like how we do it and how we have politicians in it and just different influencers.
I think you probably remember what I think when you showed me it was like 2017. Around there.
Possibly. Like I remember like I've been wanting to get into the basketball space, either whether it's that way. Shout out to Kyle Smith. You know, they had like a different little thing going on with Moody Park. And I'm like, bro, y'all need to bring me in on this just because I see opportunities to do things bigger. So, you know, I've been trying to get in the sports space just because what I learned is I took a trip right before that in November. There's nothing that transcends more demographics than sports. Like, and ultimately, I really naturally want to impact the world. I really want to, you know, I idolize people like Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, and, you know, you mentioned earlier Kanye West. These people, Jay-Z, people who really impact the world. Like Elon Musk, you know, whether you like him or you're not, I really like see myself having a global impact. And sports is just an avenue to kind of reach that goal. Because at our celebrity game, we got babies to grandmas, we got white, black, yellow, orange, like everybody. So you know, sports is like one of those things that brings multiple people together. So ultimately, it's just that was the goal with that.
I think what made our celebrity game different than others was the micro influencers. Like I think it was the first time people seen like you can be somebody too. And I think building those micro influencers up is what took it to another level. We had a lot of backlash, but it was the first time people seen something like that. I don't think anyone, like, ideally our criticism was we were throwing a celebrity game without celebrities. That's what the popular criticism was. And however, that all led into more success because people was like, well, that's my nephew. That's my son. That's my best friend. So eventually that it all came together, you know, in a way. But I think some people seen the bigger picture, but I also realized just being in a small city, everybody has had relationships with other people. So you deal with some sort of their issues. By putting them on this huge platform. Where it's like, man, he ain't nobody. So it's like just being in a small city. But I think it was a brilliant concept, and I think it can continue to work. But are you open to actually, and this is probably a conversation we would have probably had, for us to get actual celebrities in the celebrity game?
I'm open. I'm really open to anything. Like, I'm really that type of person. Like, now, like, even in my leadership is transitioning to ask more questions, just because just being more open to even other people's ideas, even the guys you don't see, behind the camera right now as we speak. Like, what do you think like could be done? Just because, like, I don't have all the answers. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always open to anything. I'm definitely open to bringing more celebrities. I feel like that just makes things grow. But yeah, like you said, I mean, I even when like I had the opportunity to shoot celebrities in photography, like I realized I actually prefer to shoot regular people. And I think I did a study that popular influencers, local influencers in your community helps your events become more successful than people outside of your community, because people are able to relate to them. Like you said, for us to have like, a micro influencer in the community, her grandma gonna come, all these different people, her mom, her kids, everybody, her auntie, everybody gonna support, as opposed to if we bring, I don't know, I don't want to shout. I want Young Thug.
But no, that's a fact. Even Fortune 500 companies have been contacting micro influencers to do business with them, because they feel like, I think also people don't take into account they look at the volume of followers and not the strength of them. So I've seen people with like 800 followers get 600 likes. That's somebody. That's an influencer. You get what I'm saying? So I think people don't look at it in the same light.
Yeah, and as influencers in different spheres, like with ours, we have your local politicians, your assemblywoman, your councilwoman. These people have no followers, but they have followers in real life. They got people that are actually going to the polls to vote, and that's difficult. That's influence. So yeah, I think the world is changing to what an influencer is. I think celebrity is even changing. Like, celebrity used to be people you see on TV. Now, celebrity is just the blue check people you see on Instagram. To a celebrity could be, somebody that's just popping on TikTok or things like that. So I think celebrity is changing, and America is like weird with that. Like,
and I think we caught that trend, the upscale of content creators, and that's one thing we were trying to reward, was people creating content, and also people just with power. Like we talk about the politicians, they have power. Right. So I think catching that trend it's pretty good.
Strategic.
It's very strategic. Moving forward, after the celebrity game, you got a new job.
Yeah. I never thought I would work. But it's funny because everything in your life, whether it's like a good experience or bad experience, it always sets you up for your next move. And it's so funny because I watched how me making the decision to stay downtown Trenton, where there's a lot of different politicians, that environment, made me more comfortable, which led to, me being recruited to work with politicians. Like, what I'm saying? And I don't know much about policy and politics and stuff like that, but a lot of people don't understand that your power is just you being yourself and you being who you are. So I think once the people, at the company realized, specifically, one of my directors realized the impact and influence that I had, the charisma that I had with these people that, were powerful in powerful positions, and I'm just in a room to be myself with them. I was recruited like, hey, I know you don't know anything about policy, but I like you and I can teach you the job. And you know what I'm saying? She's seen something in me that I didn't even see in myself. So yeah, now I do like lobbying work. So I work in policy, more specific federal policy. So a lot of times I'm, drafting letters, identifying where the funding sources are going. And that has transformed like the way I think about business, the way I think about the world, paying attention to what's happening, on a federal level, how that trickles down to a state level, how that trickles down to a local level in our community. And that gives you the foresight to see what's going on and to pivot. Because like, had I known different things, like had I paid attention, you would have shifted, but we catch on things so late just because we not paying attention. Like us now, right? What's going on is Donald Trump is our president, for anybody watching outside the United States. Cause I know you him, you know what I'm saying? So this niggas ain't, you got Liberia on smash, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, but Donald Trump is defunding a lot of different clean energy initiatives, right? Which means he's going to take funding away from the states to focus on a lot of different clean energy initiatives. the nonprofit that I work for does a lot of work with clean energy. So now he's defunding those programs. People are going to be out of a job. Like all these Go Green people, like they're about to be out of a job.
Right.
Okay, what is he funding? Because the president's agenda, that's what it's just following the money.
Following the money.
So that is what I learned working in this world, is just following the money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Following the money, following the trends. The same way we do with Instagram and stuff like that, the little trending sign. Okay, this is trending. Okay. Affordable housing is trending for people who not paying attention, right? Because AI, data centers, and all this stuff, our energy bills just go. If you really pay attention, like it's people in the hood that are being impacted right now. They have no idea why their PSE&G and electric bills are going up. They have no idea. They just like, damn, like my PSE&G going up, this, that, and the third. But they don't know that it's because we're using Chat GPT more, which is building more AI data centers, which is taxing our grid because technology is moving so fast. We in America, we weren't properly set up to handle all the power. And I'm breaking this down into layman's terms just because like I barely graduated high school. So like I be needing things to be broken down on a third grade level. Even when I go to Chat GPT and be like, put this in a third
Don't let him
level.
fool y'all, man. He's very intelligent.
I'm very intelligent, but I think the power of a genius is to make complex things simple.
That's a fact.
So like, you know what I'm saying? I like to really break it down. So just like I said, just when you learn, you start to foresee. So I'm like, okay, affordable housing, that's where we should be moving in. So like, I'ma always pivot. And I think, and we're in a time now, it's very, very scary. A lot of people are going to be out of a job next year and they're not even going to know why. And I'm not talking about just AI. I'm just talking about different initiatives that's happening. So I think we're in a time now where we have to pay attention to everything.
So let's take this time to talk about this governor election. How important is this election?
This governor election is very, very, very important, specifically for the obviously for all the states that you live in, just because you'll follow the money. You'll see, okay, this governor is going to lean more towards education. So they're going to be putting money in education. So what that means for you, let's say you're a content creator, maybe if you see that, okay, this particular governor is going to focus on education, he's going to put more money into education. More money is going to go into schools. The budget is going to be more. So let's say I'm a content creator, or let's say I do public speaking. Now I know who to target. Okay, I need to go into the schools. I need to start building programs that I can teach the kids how to do content creation, because I know that the governor funded the school district, so now they got more money. They got a bigger budget. You get what I'm saying? And that's how that trickles all the way down to the lowest people. So I think local politics are always the most important, because those are the things that really affect you directly. And I think people we take it for granted, and we don't even get involved just because we feel like it don't matter, just because we don't see these people in our community all the time. But if enough people start to feel like something don't matter, then you don't matter. And now they're not even funding your area, and now you're wondering why you have a liquor store on every block. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't see that in Mount Laurel. In Mount Laurel, you see liquor stores in the shopping center. In Trenton, liquor stores are right by the residences, right by your neighborhood, so it's more easily accessible. But all you had to do was organize a bunch of people and go to your city council and say, we don't want this here. So I think people have lost their power, you know what I'm saying, just because we are distracted. And we don't care, man. We don't pay attention. We're not paying attention, you know what I'm saying? We just, following, the shade room. No offense to the shade room, but we just following things that really don't matter, don't really have no impact on us. So I'm growing in my entrepreneurship, you know what I'm saying? 2 years from now, I wouldn't even have this conversation. I wouldn't have cared. But I think, when you know better, you got to do better. So.
Yeah, I also think just being around it, like being, like, for instance, I'm working with the county now, hearing, soon as Trump won, this program got cut.
Yeah.
Right. Understanding the differences between Republican and Democrat. One wants to fund businesses. One wants to fund, more so programs that can help the poor. Right.
Yeah.
Those small differences are very important. For instance, like if like half of our environment may be relying on food stamps, right? And if someone's trying to cut food stamps that's directly affecting them. However, they're not looking at it like that until it can potentially happen.
Yeah.
Although some of these things that's being proposed, I don't think we've seen happen, but it's a time where they continue to keep talking about it. They're dead serious about cutting these things.
We don't take preventative measures. Like, people are not going to pay attention until they food stamps stop coming, and then they're going to start being, damn, what's going on? And that's just our community. We don't take preventative measures. We don't go to the doctor unless shit start hurting. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, let's go get a checkup before it start hurting. And we do that in every aspect of life. Mm-hmm. We're not paying attention to what's happening. And if you don't do politics will do you. And they've been doing our community for a million years. I go in these rooms and I'm just like, it's funny. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't even, like, you know what I'm saying, get on my soapbox. But it's so sad because I'm watching that it comes down to a vote and it comes down to us just showing up. When they say 80% of success is showing up, it's true. Like, you know what I'm saying? We just have not been around and involved in that process for so long that we're so ostracized out of that process. So, you know, it's definitely a long game. Like, we're trying to tell people, yo, you need to make sure you vote. Yeah, go to the club and pop bottles too, but vote too. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, because if you don't voice your opinion, you won't matter. You know what I'm saying? So, I think it's really important, man. And, you know, I think people businesses and entrepreneurs need to pay attention even more. Yeah. So.
Yeah. It's another deep convo, but I wanted to throw that in there, you know. Yeah. You know, so people can start getting used to hearing that, because some people probably, this would be the first time they ever heard it like this. No, heard it from us in layman's terms. So.
And people see my growth. Like, there's people watching me who knew me when I was rapping about dumb shit, you know what I'm saying? Posting crazy hot takes on Facebook and Twitter. Yeah. They watch me, you know, become, you know, an entrepreneur. They watch me become a photographer. They keep watching me grow. Exactly. And the audience is going to keep growing with me. So I do think it's important, you know what I'm saying, to talk about, especially people like us who have, you know, a lot of influence. So hopefully, you know, it get people to just even start watching the news a little bit more. That's a win. So. We can't impact everybody, but if we get one person, we won. So.
All right, man. Thank you for coming out.
Damn, I'm being kicked out already.
Nah.
I flew.
It was a powerful episode.
Nah, this was dope, bro.
We want to keep doing them. We want to keep them coming. Definitely want to bring you back on. Like I said, there's only so much we could get to in 25, 30 minutes. We didn't even get to our future endeavors. Tell them about the things you have going on. We know you got the Halloween event.
Yeah, so right now, man, we're doing Fright Fest. So we October 24th, October 25th. It's a 2-day event. We're doing basically our own version of a haunted house and a hayride downtown Trenton, New Jersey. You always see haunted houses and hayrides in small towns, small little hick towns everywhere else. You don't really see them in urban communities. So this is a chance to get a lot of our youth involved. We got a lot of teenagers that's going to be like different actors and stuff like that. We got a lot of different businesses. So a lot of times when we're doing things, we're trying to stimulate the economy again, use that same model. So we got a lot of different businesses around the area that we're going to be bringing a lot of different visibility to. Shout out to all of our different sponsors. I don't want to leave nobody out, so I don't want to start naming names.
You can name me, though.
Trenton Talks is definitely a proud sponsor. You can follow us on Much Better Studios on Instagram, muchbetterworld.com. That's where, you know, you can check out all things as far as photography, as far as the events that we do. But yeah, that's what's coming up, man, is our Fright Fest event. I'm looking forward to starting to plan our next 3rd annual celebrity game. It's year 3. You know what I'm saying?
That's a powerful number.
Yeah, year 3, the trilogy.
Yeah.
AI just had an interview, you know what I'm saying? It's 3s all around.
Keep your eye out. Yeah. Hey, we got to close it out with that.
Yeah.
How do you want to do the voting process this year?
How do I want to do the voting process? I mean, I'm not opposed to how we did it last year, just having people go online and vote with the Google form. But you know, maybe we make an electoral college.
Electoral college vote? Electoral college
vote. Maybe we make an electoral college. We give like certain people weight, you know what I'm saying? Maybe we do like a committee, and that's like the electoral college. So now we got the popular vote and we got the electoral college.
You got the popular vote?
You know what I'm saying? Baby, that's so innovative. That just came out, so you heard it first, man. But yeah, I'm excited. This was dope, bro. I love doing things like this, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully I could be able to come back many
sure.
more times, man. This is dope, bro. So
Thank
shout
you.
out to you too.
Thank you for
the
coming out,
platform.
man. We'll be back again with another episode, and wishing you luck on all your endeavors.
Thank you,
Make
bro.
sure y'all come out to the Fright Fest at Much Better Studios, and just keep on a loop, right?
Yes.
Get on their email list.
Yes.
All right.